This is the MSRT Ford Transit Custom. MSRT is a collaboration between Vansport and Malcolm Wilson, and they have come up with some styling changes for the commercial range. You can buy a tuned MSRT Transit, however, it does void the warranty. The one we're driving today has had some suspension changes by IBAC and is running a top spec standard engine that you'd find on a regular Transit. So, is it worth the £35,000? Well, let's find out.
Alright then, the MSRT Ford Transit. Now, this is quite a beefy looking van. From this angle especially, it just looks properly mean. Flared wheel arches front and rear. At the front, it's got a hint of Mark II Ford Focus RS about it. And I've said this, you know, if Ford were to make an RS version of the Transit, they won't, but if they were to, it would kind of look like this. And in this red paint scheme, it does look pretty mega. Flared arches. By the way, this all meets European legislations as well too, which is surprising for a company that customise vans. Not many customise UK-based companies have bumpers which meet the regulations, but these guys do, which is a neat touch. It's got the Oz Racing wheels running on the Hankook tyres. They're actually a different tyre to what you find on a regular custom, which is a bit different. Nice forged rim as well too, which is really cool. It's got this stripe down the side as well, or sticker more like, that says MSRT. And yeah, this one is the short wheelbase custom, so it's just a panel van. If I open it up, you can see you can put lots and lots of gear in there. This could be the sideways here tracking vehicle, I don't know. To have a little chat with them. This is a pretty cool thing. I'll tell you what this reminds me of. This reminds me of the A-Team van. It's got that kind of A-Team feel about it. Kind of makes you want to drive like Mr. T. You've also got these exhaust tips there too, which is really cool. Yeah, cosmetically, I love it. I think it looks mega. This doesn't have any performance tuning. MSRT can give you some performance changes as well and suspension changes, but the one we're driving today isn't. Main reason is because you will lose the warranty. However, this one does chuck out 170 horsepower and we are running the automatic gearbox. Let me show you inside actually. Let me walk around and show you inside because this is actually quite aggressive. So, you've got this MSRT steering wheel, which is really cool. In fact, it's quite thick and chunky. You think B&W M Sport steering wheels were thick and chunky, try and grab that. And you've also got these, well, they're the same sort of Transit seats, but they've been retrimmed, and you've got this really nice Alcantara with the leather as well too. And this one's got a few nice creature comforts. You know, you've got the Ford Sync Free system as well too. You've also got so many chargers for your mobile phone. It's still a van, a commercial vehicle. And another cool thing is, because it is a commercial vehicle, it is VAT qualifying. Anyway, shall we go for a drive and see what this van is all about? Here we are then, the MSRT Ford Transit Custom. Now, let's go for a drive. Now, I'm not really a guy that's into just cosmetic changes from a performance vehicle. What I mean by like that is I don't want it just to look sporty, it needs to drive sporty. And I will make a slight exception because they do one called the R, which does give it a bit more power, but I wanted to try one of these because you can aesthetically feel happy by the way you feel in it, and this, you just feel cool. There's just nothing else like it, you know, that has this kind of kudos appeal, which is really cool. I mean, it looks really butch. And going through some of the high streets, people just look. You get as much stairs in this as you would do if you was to drive down in a bright yellow Ferrari 812 Superfast, which ain't bad for something that costs 35 grand. Okay, the price is a bit expensive for something which most people use as a commercial vehicle. Well, they're not going to keep them nice and shiny, are they? It's gonna get dirty, it's gonna get mucky, it's gonna get damaged as well too. You don't deliberately want to damage it, but you can imagine if you're a flooring company, or work on a building site, this might not be the van for you. But if you're a fast courier delivery driver, which I used to be, this would actually work really, really well. So suspension's been lowered a little bit. The ride is a little bit firmer because obviously it's running on different springs. We've got the automatic gearbox in this one. I believe it's 6-speed, don't count me on it. And on the move, what's it like? Well, 170 horsepower. It actually goes really well. Engine likes to rev. The ride is a little bit bouncy. Yeah, it's actually a lot firmer than the standard custom. However, you have got a bit more control. Like I've mentioned already, Ford Transits are great to drive. Out of all the vans that I've driven VW Transporters and Mercedes Sprinters and the Vito and the that sort of stuff as well, and the VW Craft. The Ford Transit is a great thing. I own a Ford Transit myself. At the minute I don't talk about it, but I have a rear-wheel drive Ford Transit at home at the minute, and I just love the way it drives. I've got a 3.5 ton 12-foot tall thing, and obviously you look at it and you think, well, that's going to fall over if I go around the corner, but it just doesn't. The steering has better feedback than I have driven in some other sports cars, which is saying something. This one's front wheel drive, which you can only get in the custom. You can actually get it as a crew cab. Don't know if you don't know what crew cab is. It basically means it's still a van, but you get extra seats in the back, so you can seat 6 people. But aesthetically, like I said, there's something quite cool about a van. I love vans. This is slightly off topic, but I think I would rather daily around in a van than I would do in a car. Main reason is because, without sounding bad, you don't really care as much in a van. I think daily and expensive toys just a bit, I don't know, it jogs your mind a bit too much. For me, a van is easier to get around and do things and do stuff, and on my day-to-day basis a van makes more sense for me because I'm always carrying big stuff and other bits and pieces as well too. And when we're filming the big films like the Porsche GT3, we always need a camera vehicle where we can go out and put loads of camera stuff and take along 6 people. Sometimes you'd be amazed by how many people we need to make such a small video. It wouldn't be a normal sideways Sid video without giving it some proper stick to see what it's like. Well, the upgraded steering wheel, at first you grab it and you think, that's weird, I can't actually get a grip to it. Well, that's because you need to have your thumbs tucked in, and then you can get a better grip of grabbing behind the wheel. It's designed so your hands are at 2:45, which works. The weighting's really nice, which is good, and you get a nice, you probably get about 15% feedback of what's going on with the front axle. It doesn't feel heavy. I don't think it is that heavy. I don't know what the payload is, but not payload, the curb weight is. But I'd say it's around about 1,600 kilograms, but it feels lighter than that. It feels like 1,500. Pace, do you know what? I could be wrong, but this is knocking on about the same pace as, I don't know, a Twingo 133. It feels like that. It feels punchier. Maybe it's because of the torque. I don't know. But you'd be amazed by how many people buy these, I'm a big enthusiast, and to me driving is more of an important point than what a car looks. A car has to drive better than the way it looks, hence why I really loved my Porsche Panamera when I owned it. Not because it was the best looking car in the world, but because it drove so good, However, you've got to think of the rest of people. So most of the people, they want something that looks nice, looks cool, and they look cool while they're in it. It's unfortunately, in my opinion, people use cars as show-off tools. It's to brag, and people would love to brag about an MSRT van. I mean, I would. It just looks out of this world, and with this red paint, it just, it's really, really cool. And you can't help just be a typical van driver. But you can even trailing on the brakes as well. I wonder if you can turn traction control off. Do you know what? I better not turn traction control off. I won't do that because we're on a public road and we are responsible people. Or I'm a responsible driver. Get my words wrong today, aren't I? So then, would I spend 35 grand on an MSRT Ford Transit, or do I go after something like a VW Transporter Sportline? Well, the Transporter's more expensive. However, it has got a better gearbox. It's got the DSG gearbox. This has got the slush automatic. Mind you, cruising around in this, I'd say it's just as quick on the upshifts, and more importantly, more usable than the DSG. But to drive this car, van, this van is about 15% more fun, more engaging to drive than a VW Transporter Sportline. Whether that's good consumer advice, I don't know. And the payload's pretty alright too. It can take over a ton of weight as well too, which is really, really handy. And it's also got a handbrake too, which is quite handy. Love that. Love a handbrake. Right, to summarise on the MSRT Ford Transit, well, do you know what? It's a cool van. I love Ford Transits, so I'm a little bit biased on this side of things. I love a van, full stop. 35 grand, I'd say buy one of these over a VW Transporter. And that's saying something, because the Transporter is a well-built, nice vehicle. But I don't know, it just lacks the character of a Ford Transit, and there's something about these. Every time I jump in one, you just think, what other van would you buy out of the lot? I know this doesn't mean much. It's a bit different to the AMG GTR and the BMW M2 we filmed this week, but hopefully you have enjoyed this Ford Transit video. We will come back to this one day later on, where we will take this van on the track. Would you like to see a Ford Transit Custom MSRT go round the track? Hit the comment things at the top. Anyway, like and subscribe, and see you later.